Hey sis, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla, and in today's video I want to talk about how to get a flat stomach without starving yourself. Yes, how to get a flat stomach without starving yourself, because you might feel like, oh, in order for me to ever get a flat stomach I need to stop eating, I need to just do hours of cardio and not eat, and that is just not the case. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, let's get right to it. The first thing you need to do is get your mindset right. Now, I know I said this in almost every single one of my videos, but when I say get your mindset right, is I want you to be realistic with yourself. I want you to understand that what you see on social media, for one, is not always the truth. It's not always what it seems. There's stuff called Photoshop. People could be sucking in. The way all of us suck in is different things. And also understand that if you're a woman, you understand, as females, we naturally have a lower area right here. I think it was something to do with like giving birth. You naturally have like fat right here, you're supposed to. And I just want you to understand that any type of belly fat, if it's just like, it's natural. Like if you have a little bit of belly fat, that is okay, because that is a natural thing, especially as a female. Just want you to get that through your mind too, and also understand that genetics play a part in it as well. Some people aren't able to get super duper divine abs, and that's just genetics, but there is ways you can make your stomach, you know, look a little bit flat and also just be healthy all around. So I want you to just get that disclaimer in your mind before you start, because if you don't, it's going to be really dangerous. When I felt like I needed a six-pack abs and I was trying to figure out why I couldn't get it, I was starving myself, I was overworking myself, and I was just straight up miserable until I realized, okay, that's not my genetics, but that is okay, because I can still get the body that looks good on me. Period. So now that we got the mindset out the way, now there is ways that you can kind of, you know, finesse and just get the body that you want, the body that is meant for you, and the body that looks the best on you. And that first thing you need to do is change the way you're eating. Now, when I say calorie deficit, a calorie deficit means you're consuming less than you're burning off. So you're burning off more than you are consuming. But that does not mean you need to stop eating. No, you still need to be eating 3 meals a day. Do not skip your meals. You still need to be eating. Just once you add in working out into that and your meals are clean, you're basically eating in a calorie deficit. You're just proportioning your foods out, but you're not starving yourself. No, just replace those snacks with something healthier. Something that you could do. Let me organize myself right now. I'm all over the place. I'm trying to work on being more organized with what I say. So let me start with the meals first. On your plate, you should have a healthy protein, a healthy veggie, and a side of a light carb. Okay, so when you're first starting this, I would say start off with healthier light carbs, brown rice, sweet potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, stuff like that. And I would say do it with only one of your meals that day. So if you have a carb for lunch, I would not do a carb for my dinner. If you have a carb for dinner, you should not be doing a carb for lunch, especially in the beginning, because I just feel like carbs are really heavy, and carbs are not bad for you. It's good for you. But I would just say try to just dabble it in there once every meal in the beginning of your journey. And then you can slowly get into eating more carbs as you go on. I'm not saying it's the end of the world if you have it with every single meal, but that's just what I personally did. I personally, you know, cut back on it just a little tiny bit without being too restrictive on myself. And that's when I saw the best results. So now we got the meals and what the meals will probably look like. The next thing is, what are you snacking on? I feel like that's the hardest part. People always ask like, well, what do I do when I get hungry throughout the day? How do I snack? Well, what you could do is, I want you to replace all those chips, all those sodas and stuff like that. Replace that with some type of fruit. I personally feel like fruit is like the best alternative. Now, of course, if you just crave chips, you could do zucchini chips. You could search up healthier forms of chips. But I really feel like try adding fruits in there, because fruits give you a natural sense of sugar, but it's not heavy sugar like a juice would have or a soda would have. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like a natural sugar. So it still gives you that feeling like you're eating something sweet, and it's hydrating too. The fruits that I love and I really enjoy, I love mangoes, I love pineapples. I've recently got into grapes more and more. One thing about grapes though, grapes run through you. So if you're outside, I would not recommend eating a bunch of grapes, because you will be running to the bathroom back and forth. It cleans you out though. But I love grapes, I love mangoes, I love pineapples, I like plums, it's so many different forms of fruit that you can have. Some people like cantaloupes, I don't. But just test it out and see which forms you really like. Oranges, and I really started to snack on that. Now, I understand that we don't always want to snack on fruits. Sometimes we might be craving something else. I recently got into rice cakes. So what I do is I'll do a rice cake. I do two if I'm snacking. I do 2 rice cakes, and I put some type of spread on top of it. What I've been doing lately is I've been doing the sugar-free hazelnut spread, and I've been spreading that on top of it. Now, of course, anything you eat in large portions of, it's naturally not gonna be super good for you. But I portion myself. So if I want a snack, I'll do 2 rice cakes with hazelnut spread on it, and that's a snack for me for the day. The main thing when it comes to snacking is proportioning yourself and making sure you're not overdoing it. And that plays into binge eating, my previous video when I talked about that. But just making sure that you're not overdoing it and you're pacing yourself. We know when we're overeating, and we know when we're just eating out of boredom. A lot of the times when we're snacking, I want you guys to do something where you're not getting the whole bag of it. Even if you are one day want to do chips, try to put chips on a plate instead, because sometimes when you have the whole bag, it's just in your nature to just finish the whole thing. I realize that for myself too. Like if I have a whole bag of chips, something in me is telling me I gotta finish the whole bag. If it's a big bag, of course, if it's a small bag, you can finish that bag of chips. It is what it is. But if you do want to indulge in chips every once in a while, just put some on a plate. Do not eat the whole bag. Do not bring the whole bag with you, because I'm telling you, your brain is going to tell you to eat the whole thing. But I say in the beginning, just try to stay away from those type of things, because chips, processed foods, fast foods have a lot of just grease and sugars and just a bunch of starchy stuff that we don't really need to be eating, that is going to cause bloating naturally, especially sodas. Now, I have a theory with soda, and I feel like soda has something in it that's just so like contagious, and it's just like I get it, because I was a kid who loved soda. I still do. So I had to like cut back on that and just try to find healthier alternatives and replacements that's still going to fulfill me and still give me that feel that soda gives me, but it's just a healthier version. I always recommend okay, are you okay, girl? Carbonated drinks, sparkling water, okay, sparkling water. I don't know what that was just now, but I always recommend sparkling waters, smoothies. Even if you want to go get a smoothie from Smoothie King, I have people ask me like, is that too much sugar? No, like I'm not the type of person who's gonna say like, oh, you can't do any sugar. Like that's like impossible in a way. Like that's like you're not even living a life of flavor at that point. Like I'm gonna get a smoothie from Smoothie King if I want, because I know that a smoothie from Smoothie King is a lot less bad for me than a juice from the gas station or a juice from the store. So Smoothie King is a lot better. They're using fruits and they might have a little bit of juice in it, but it's not terrible for you. It's not bad. Like don't be too hard on yourself and too restricted with yourself. As long as you're doing the basics of it, the results will come. And like I said, remember that results look different on everybody, okay? Now, the second most important thing is, of course, your workouts. Yes, eating healthy is gonna help, but you need to be being active and moving your body. Now, I have a lot of people come on my page and, you know, asking like, do I have to do this super duper intense stuff? Is there any way I could do stuff that's not super intense and still see results? And the answer is yes. Any form of working out that works for you, that you find enjoyable, I always promote doing that, okay? If you like the workouts that I post on my page, do that. If you like to go to the gym, do that. Whatever is your cup of tea. But I always say mix cardio with resistance training. If you don't want to use weights, resistance training is basically just using your body weight. You could do squats, lunges, hip thrusts. That's a form of resistance training with your body weight. If you want to do body weight workouts for cardio, jumping jacks, high knees, burpees in rounds of 3 sets of 10, that is a cardio workout in itself. You can walk on a treadmill, you can walk outside. As long as you are moving your body and adding at least 10 minutes of cardio into your workouts, you are fine. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of the times people think that they have to be super intense, and I feel like that scares people away from starting when they feel like they can't see results if they're not extreme. So they're like, well, I can't be extreme, so I'm not going to do it. That makes no sense. The average person working out is gonna want to do some simple stuff. I do simple workouts now. I used to be trying to do intense workouts, and I realized I was always sore. I was just not enjoying it. And then I started doing simple stuff, and I was like, I like this. I remember I used to not even be able to get my hair done like this because I would sweat so much doing my workouts, and I would just overwork myself so much, and I would be miserable. Now I can get my hair done. Of course, I still sweat, and I still have to touch it up, but it just feels a lot better. Okay, it just feels a lot better. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing too much. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what my week of workouts look for me, so you can get a gist of what I do. So, Mondays is my leg day. So, I'll do a leg workout. For example, I use dumbbells, so I'll do 3 sets of 10 of each of these. Squats, hip thrusts, Bulgarian split squats. That's my leg portion of it. Then I add cardio to that same workout at the end of it. So sometimes I'll do the incline treadmill for 30 minutes and I just walk 2.5 speed and I put the incline on 9.5. And sometimes I'll do a HIIT workout. I do the HIIT workouts that are on my page. It's underneath flat stomach workouts. I'll do that at the end of my workout, whichever one I'm feeling, but I always end it with cardio. Then Tuesday, that's going to be a full body workout for me, but I'm not really working on my legs, so I guess it's not full body. But I'm doing a cardio workout, maybe some upper body, arm curls, female push-ups, anything that's just going to kind of tone and just define my arms. And then Wednesday I do the same thing I did Monday, then I repeat. I just don't do legs every single day. Like, I make sure I space my leg workouts out, because there's nothing worse than having super duper sore legs. It's nothing worse than not being able to sit down because you overworked your booty and you overworked your legs. I understand we're going to be sore, but I would rather be a little bit sore than super duper sore because I'm overworking myself, okay? And that leads me to the next thing. Make sure you're giving yourself rest days, sis. Okay? It's not a flex saying, oh, I never give myself rest, I'm non-stop working. That's not a flex. And I used to think that was a flex until I realized I have to give myself rest. If you don't notice by now, I'm intense with everything I do. As you can probably tell, I'm posting like 2 times a day on this page. I'm just naturally this type of person where I naturally thrive when I work every single day. So you can imagine how I was in my fitness journey. I was literally like, I need to work every single day. And it was one thing if I'm just staying active, and then on the days where I'm supposed to rest, I just walk. But no, on the days where I was supposed to rest, I was literally doing high intensity workouts, and my body was sore. I was always tired. I was just weak and fatigued. And that's when I really started adding in, okay, I have to give myself grace. So now for me, on the days where I'm supposed to rest, I'll walk on the treadmill or I'll walk outside, just so I can feel like I'm still doing something, because I understand how it feels for some people who, thrive off of working, but I still recommend giving yourself time to rest. So even if you're, you want to work out, but it's like it's supposed to be a rest day, just walk outside or something like that. But you never want to overwork your body and overwork your muscles. And I always recommend listening to your body, okay? Listen to your body and how you feel. Now, the next thing, it plays into the workouts too, is try to find some form of core workouts that you could do that kind of targets your stomach area. I haven't done core workouts in a minute, but I'm starting to add it back into my routine. But I used to be super heavy on it, so my core is kind of trained now to where my stomach muscles are still intact, but I do want to get back into it. Now, when I say core workouts, I'm saying when it comes to abs, I recommend working abs twice a week, if that. You don't need to overwork your abs, because that's a muscle that can get overworked very, very quick. So as you can see, I don't even really post that many ab workouts on my page. I might start posting more, but I just don't want people doing ab workouts every single day, and that tends to happen when I post stuff. So I don't want them to see my ab workouts and then happen to do it every single day, because that's not really what you're supposed to do. But I might start adding it in and just putting a disclaimer saying this is not to be done every day. But I do at least once or even twice a week. But at least you're just doing some form of workouts that isolates the stomach area. But honestly speaking, burpees is a great cardio workout that still kind of contracts your stomach muscles and still works that area without having to do super duper heavy crunches. Because I understand that people associate crunches and all that with, like, neck pains, and I understand that can be kind of intense for people. But you could do planks, you could do like I said, burpees. Those are 2 great workouts that still help with your core area, and you could do that in 2 sets of 10. I don't overwork my ab muscles, so when I'm doing abs, I literally do 2 sets of 10. I really don't go over that. I used to be so intense with it, and I used to work abs every single day. I used to do like 4 sets of like 20, and I would always have bad stomach pains, and I was just overworking myself. So I don't want anybody to do that. So yes, you could work your abs, and yes, it is helpful, but you don't need to be overworking it too much, because honestly speaking, you're already engaging your core with every single workout you do naturally, so you're naturally working it. But it's always good to, like, isolate that section and work it, but not overdoing it. So like I said, once to twice a week, if that. If you don't want to work abs at all, you really don't have to, but I'm just saying it for the people who want to grow their core muscles and strengthen it. So that's an option as well. The last thing that I want you guys to do is I want you guys to be patient with yourself. It is so dangerous to rush your results, and it's so dangerous to think in your mind that you're going to see results in the next day, or if that the results don't come instantly, then you're not doing it right. That's a dangerous mindset to have, because that's when you start overworking yourself. That's when you start having eating disorders. That's when all that comes into play. So that's why I always say, make it to where, okay, I'm just changing my lifestyle out. As long as I'm consistent, as long as I'm being a healthier version of me, all that will come. I understand that it might be frustrating to have an extra stomach fat. It might be frustrating, but as long as you are honestly just being a healthier version of you, results will come. And also, you're healthier. That should be enough of a flex right there. I'm healthy. I work out. That's a flex in itself. I eat healthy. I work out. That's a flex, okay? Stop always focusing on the physical and understand that there's more than just that. Your mental health is getting better. Your health is getting better in general. Your stamina is getting better. Your endurance is getting better. That's really the main thing that matters, okay? So I just really hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it was helpful. And we got this. Summer 2025 is going to be amazing for us. It's going to be amazing for our bodies. It's going to be amazing for our mental health. All of that. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.